Hey everyone, so this video is going to be, as you could read by the title, why I chose to be a nurse rather than a doctor. So I wanted to talk about this because in my previous video I talked about why I became a CNA and kind of what the process was for that. In short, I had chosen to do medicine, to do the medical path, to be a doctor. I wanted to be a neurologist because my mom had had a stroke, and it wasn't really until I started working at Cedars-Sinai here in LA, I really got to see how integral nursing is and how nursing is the core of our healthcare system. So I would say the first category was school and the requirements. Second would be the tuition. Third would be age. And the last thing I considered, well, actually, no, they kind of go hand in hand, was goals, so personal and professional goals. And lastly would be work-life balance. So the first reason why I chose not to become a doctor was there was too much school. I like going to school for the arts. That's what my bachelor's was in, but in terms of the sciences, no. It's difficult. It's not for me. And you have to go through so many classes, so many upper division classes. Second was tuition. Tuition, at least in the States, I thought once I started pursuing med school, or the pre-med route, that it would be like I thought I was looking at about $200,000. That's a lot. Which leads me to my next consideration, which was my age. I decided I wanted to pursue the med school route when I was 27, and now being in my 30s. So my decision to choose nursing was about a year ago, I think. So early 30s Mikey was like, okay, I just looked at it completely differently. Let's pretend I chose to continue this. I would be in my mid to maybe late 30s, and I would be taking out anywhere ranging from $200,000 to $300,000 of debt. That's a lot. That's a lot, and it just felt different. It hit different at 32. It wasn't for me, and so segueing into the next consideration was goals. So life and in terms of career. This probably took a little longer to mull over. But then the thing that really helped me really consider nursing was a nurse practitioner, was becoming a nurse practitioner. It's still an evolving thing in the States, especially. It's a very state-by-state case. I think in Washington State, nurse practitioners don't have to be under an MD in order to open their own clinic. Whereas normally in most states, or majority of states, nurse practitioners need to have an MD in order to open up their own clinic. So I was like, oh, this is really cool. So I could go to school for a less amount of time, because for me to become an RM would only require 13 to 15 months of my life, because I have a previous bachelor, so I can enroll in an ABSN. And finally, what helped me pursue nursing over becoming a doctor is that I really like the work-life balance. Because as a doctor, I wouldn't, for many years, many years, I would not have a life. And that would bug me. I think if I was in my early 20s, it would have been a very different story. I was very different in my early 20s. Now, no. I have just different personal goals, I just value different things. I prioritize things differently, as everyone who ages does. It's always changing. So for me, it changed. And I wanted the lifestyle that nursing was giving me. I was having my 3 12-hour shifts a week lifestyle, and it was great. I could go on lots of trips. I could see friends or see family more often. I could spend more time exercising. I don't know, reading, just doing the things that I wanted to do and not constantly be grinding for that to be a doctor. It just, like I said, just by the time I was 32 and now 33, I don't have it in me anymore. And I don't care. I don't care to prove myself like that anymore. So moving on to why I ended up choosing nursing. Number one, there's much less schooling. So for me, in my situation, I've already done my undergrad. That's done. So now I just need to find a program that will give me an accelerated BSN. So that's like between 13 and 15 months. I walk out, I'm licensed, I have to take the NCLEX, and now I'm licensed. And then I can apply for a job as an RN. Secondly, the tuition is so much more affordable, like astronomically more affordable. You know, if I'm correct, I think the course that I'm looking at is, I want to say like something like $30,000. I will be able to pay that off in good time. Generally speaking, in LA, a new grad, if you're at like a decent, pretty good hospital, annually, a new grad RN can look to make about, I want to say between like 80 and 90,000 pre-tax. That's really good. Thirdly, I would have time for a life. I've covered it, I've already said it, but I will have time for a life. And I already do have time for a life because I've been living that schedule for the past almost 4 years now as a CNA. So again, being a CNA has really shown me what being an RN would be like in terms of lifestyle. Next, as I've said before, nursing just seemed, and maybe nurse practitioning, it was in a more alignment with what I was looking for, what I was aspiring to personally and professionally. Lastly, nursing has a lot of opportunities for growth, professional growth. Considering that burnout has been on the rise and it seems to just keep on going, seems to keep on increasing, the ability to leave bedside is honestly a huge consideration for me, and I think for a lot of other people. Nursing at the bedside is great, or being a clinical nurse is great, but I can definitely see why people leave bedside because it's tough, especially depending on what unit you're on, how the staffing is, what city you're in. You know, are they paying the nurses well enough to retain nurses? So many other factors. So there's just tons of growth opportunities. So for instance, I went to a nursing conference recently, and there were just tons of roles that nurses could do that I just didn't even know. Those jobs help you leave bedside, and if you find it fulfilling, it'll be fulfilling. So it's really cool. Nursing has tons of opportunities to do that, to leave bedside. Not only does nursing give me those abilities to grow professionally, it also gives me the abilities to pursue my personal passions. I have a lot of things that I do want to do on a personal level, and if I were to be a doctor, to pursue being a doctor, I mean, some people do it, but for me, and I just could not pursue some side passions or hustles while being a doctor. It just wouldn't work. So pursuing nursing, let's say after being 5 years of being an RN, I was done with it. There was something else that was more viable, more exciting for me, that I was more passionate about. I could do it because with the money I would be earning as a nurse, I would have paid off my student loan, and I wouldn't see it as like a loss, financially, because I paid off the debt, so I can pursue whatever I want. Or I could drop to part-time as an RN and pursue my passions. So there are lots of opportunities for me, I guess, opportunities, but also possibilities. I don't even know what being a nurse will open up for me personally and professionally. So that's everything. I hope you liked it. Please like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. Tell me what you think, and I will see you on my next video. So, see you later. Bye.